Software development used to be a turf war. Engineering wanted to build cool tech, marketing wanted to sell a story, and sales needed a quick fix to close a deal. The friction between these competing priorities created a severe bottleneck. To fix it, companies introduced a new role to align everyone toward a single goal: the product manager. There is a persistent myth that the product manager operates as the mini CEO of a feature, dictating terms with absolute authority. In reality, product managers rarely have direct authority over anyone on their team. They are diplomats. They lead through influence, consensus, and evidence, rather than giving orders. The job relies on three core pillars. Strategy determines what to build, prioritization decides the order, and execution ensures delivery. This requires three specific skills: data analysis for metrics, customer focus to translate feedback into features, and business savvy to build a financial case. That possessing those baseline skills doesn't automatically mean you know how to do the job. The day-to-day reality of a product manager is dictated entirely by their specific company. A highly effective product manager at one major tech company could completely fail at another. Each organization has its own unique corporate matrix and culture. Take Google. Their engineering-driven culture demands deep technical fluency. Amazon takes a different route, hiring MBAs heavily reliant on business acumen. Apple operates differently, building products within highly secretive, siloed teams. Finally, startups lack massive structures, requiring incredibly scrappy managers to fill operational gaps. Knowing the mechanics of building a product is only half the equation. You must adapt those mechanics to fit the specific cultural algorithm of the company you're targeting. Getting into these companies requires passing a rigorous quality assurance phase. Interviews are designed as a stress test of a candidate's logic. The most notorious hurdle is the technical interview. Even if a product manager never writes a single line of code in their day-to-day job, companies use these questions to verify that the candidate can effectively communicate with software engineers and understand system constraints. This spreadsheet tracks an interview preparation plan. Candidates rely on these analytical frameworks to parse ambiguous technical problems. The framework dictates two steps: ask clarifying questions to narrow the goal, and define a simple base case to test core logic. The final step is to think aloud. Interviewers aren't necessarily looking for a flawless technical architecture. They simply want to watch your logic compile in real time. Passing the technical gauntlet demonstrates the ability to translate a vague, chaotic request into an organized, solvable system. It is a proof of logic, not a test of memory. To guarantee they pass that test, elite candidates use a specific tool long before they step foot in an interview room: evaluation sheets. They record their mock answers and ruthlessly score themselves against strict rubrics. They measure exact metrics like product sense, problem solving, and structural thinking to see exactly where their logic breaks down. This forced self-reflection creates a tight feedback loop that identifies failure points and optimizes responses. Elite candidates treat their interview preparation as a formal product iteration cycle. Once a candidate lands the job and launches their career, the challenge shifts. The focus moves from executing daily tasks to actively scaling their influence. A product manager's trajectory almost always begins at the micro level. New managers are typically handed ownership of a single specific feature to test their ability to execute. As they prove their competence, their scope widens from a single feature to directing a larger product area. The final tier is owning an entire product suite, understanding how interlocking products serve the company's macro vision. Traditional career advancement for a product manager is ultimately an exercise in expanding systemic awareness. But just as a product manager masters this traditional software lifecycle, the entire technological landscape shifts underneath them. This brings us to the rise of the AI product manager. It is an evolution of the role that requires balancing deep knowledge of complex algorithms with the standard demands of user experience and monetization. The complexity of the job scales up dramatically. These managers have to design practical use cases for real-world problems while constantly navigating the unpredictable outputs of machine learning data models. Whether you are using an evaluation sheet to prepare for an interview or trying to successfully launch a global neural network, the required mindset is the exact same. The most effective product managers eventually realize that the most important product they will ever build, scale, and iterate upon is their own career.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like.